performing, songwriting. I don't have any other passions. I find it fascinating, the knowledge of sharing knowledge.
So, who are you and why are you here?
Hello.
Hello people, and welcome to another episode of DiveThru. And today we have a very special guest.
My name is Audrey.
She is an old friend of mine. We've actually been friends for 20 years.
Yeah, 18.
We met during our piano lessons when we were a kid and all through like 8 years of like classical music training and stuff. So Audrey is a musician, and I think that that's a very interesting job because like growing up I never saw music as an actual career, even anything in the arts actually. I really would like to know more about how it is to be a young musician in Germany. How does she finance herself and how does the music world look like in her life? So let's get right into it.
Still got your picture, light up my phone.
Which part of the music world are you in?
Okay, when you're a musician, the main parts are like performing, of course, songwriting, producing, also recording, some pedagogical elements. There's a lot of subgroups, but I would say those are the big three things that I do and most of other musicians do.
How did you start with music?
Basically, like almost all Asian kids, just like our parents just put us into piano class.
With
like,
me?
With her! My parents were just like, just threw her in, maybe she is interested. But I was showing already some interest because I was also in a children choir. But it was not since young age I knew that I wanted to be a musician. No. It grew slowly. Basically, the more people that I met, the more I saw what they were capable of doing.
The more you're exposed to the music industry then.
The more I find the joy that comes along with it and makes me want to do it.
Perks of having a friend who's in music school. And then you took your bachelor's in music.
Yes, I did.
What was your bachelor's degree again?
I did my Bachelor of Arts in popular music, focusing on pedagogy in Freiburg, Germany. Yes.
Maybe let's go into that. Like, what made you decide to go to Germany for music and why this particular school?
I went to Germany because my brother was already in Germany.
Okay. Connections.
I was not interested in any other particular study.
Yeah.
No, I don't have any other passions in school.
So what do you learn there? And why is it different from like other music majors? Because that seems very specific.
That's very specific. We got 2 years covering general music stuff. So again, the songwriting, performing, and pedagogy.
You learned that in the uni as well?
Yes. The first 2 years, I got to work with bands, and then we have concerts, some ear training. So we try to analyze musical elements, intervals, and chords, for example, or rhythmic.
Wow.
Yeah. And then obviously you have teachers or mentors in your own instrument. So I do have piano classes, theory. Everybody needs a little bit of theory. Not the most fun, but I like it though. By the third year, we have to choose what our main focus. I chose pedagogy. I find it fascinating, the knowledge of sharing knowledge.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have this incredible methods, incredible ways to deliver a knowledge and trying to implement it. I find it really cool.
When you chose that, it's not like a common Asian path, you know.
No, not at all.
Of course not. Like, how did you think you were gonna finance yourself with music?
I mean, you also had a little taste of teaching and assisting piano classes.
Yeah, we both used to, well, I used to teach piano when I was in around middle school and high school, and
yeah, just like as a side job.
As a side job, yeah.
Basically from that point, I already saw other teachers as well that did their own music or like performed with many other people's, and yeah, I could do this, I could finance myself. Of course it's hard. It gets harder actually. It gets harder because the more that you know, the more effort you know that you should put in before getting a paycheck. That's really tough on music basically, because obviously you need your instrument, you need to invest on your instrument, you need to invest on your time to practice. If you are a teacher, you need to invest time to find materials, to practice the materials, because if you don't practice what you're preaching, you're teaching. If you're a songwriter, for example, and you want to record as a recording artist, you need to invest on gears like microphones or hiring other musicians. I'm a pianist, but I'm not playing all the instruments by myself.
Yeah.
Thankfully, because of the Hochschule, the university, I get to know many friends that I could just like, hey, I got this project.
Yeah.
Are you willing to play?
So it's more collaboration than hiring.
Yes, true. We did find other musicians that we're maybe not too close with, but also we just want to have a professional relationship with. So we do hire them. And then hours of editing, publishing costs something as well. Performing, probably if you could sell the tickets well, the one that will pay back the most. But yeah, to perform as well, you need to find the venue. You're not getting paid only for the music part. That's the thing. You also need office job, contacting people, and working on your materials repertoire.
Right. So how does a typical week look like to you? Because you're juggling all these different things.
Yes.
You're doing teaching, you're doing performing, you're songwriting, producing stuff.
Currently, because of Corona, we cannot do many performances. I have friends that have many more connections and work in other parts of country or the continent that allows more concerts. I have friends that have been home for the past year and a half, haven't had any single concert, and they started to grow anxiety problems.
Yeah,
it's a true issue for us musicians.
Yes, of course.
When we are out of shape for a long while.
Yeah, when you can't perform.
Yeah. And then you just like, oh, how did it go again? But generally, I teach right now 4 days a week, and the other 3 days band rehearsals, practicing for myself. I try to also practice during those 4 days that I teach, writing the other 3 days mostly. Sometimes if I do have breaks in my teaching days and I feel like I could use it, sometimes you get headaches and you cannot really work and you need that breaks. But if I have 2 hour break and I feel like I only need 1 hour, then the other 1 hour maybe I do some emailing stuff, just the office work that doesn't that you probably would not enjoy to do. Basically, it's doing your own schedule.
Speaking of teaching, you've taught in Indonesia before, and you taught here. Are there differences in the teaching methods or like the curriculums?
Yeah, back in Indonesia, the company that I worked in, they were focused on a very specific curriculum.
Yeah.
So we got from our boss all the materials basically.
Yeah.
But the methods were more flexible to us actually, like how
based on each teacher.
Yeah, based on each teacher, how they want to deliver it, how the student also receive it. Because that's the most important thing. That is similar in Indonesia and in Germany. But in Germany, I make my own curriculum here. Like my bosses don't tell me, hey, you have to use this book or that theory book or whatever. I can make my own material. I can find it online. I can purchase them. I can mix everything. I can tell my students, hey, I prefer to use this book with you, but I will also give you other raw materials that I make, maybe just as a supplement. Or like they will come up to me and be like, hey, I'm interested in playing jazz or in playing classical. I'm not set with this one curriculum so that I can teach whatever the students want.
So it's more students based, like
Students.
I want to learn this, please teach this, and then you create a method that will deliver it best to what they want.
Model, yes.
A model, yeah. So that's the teaching side of things. Now let's jump to the performing side. Do you have like a band, or do you perform solo, or do you have multiple bands and multiple projects?
I like how you just sneakily smile on that.
Yeah.
Yes, I am in many projects. I don't have my own project. I like it that way right now. I have one collaborative partner in writing, and we have published a single together.
What is it?
Better by Britta Allies. And also with another collaborator, his name is Niklas. I really enjoy working with Britta. It's my main project, I would say. Another project that I'm in is a metal band.
For context, like the song with Britta, Better, it's very jazzy, right?
Yeah, it's just Latin.
But you're also working with a metal band. You have a wide range of...
That's a whole spectrum.
Yes.
The metal band is led by another friend from the university as well, Simon. Also with Britta, also with other members, Michael and Andy. And we also had our first single just out, and more coming.
Yes.
I hope soon.
Yeah.
Another projects with the singer-songwriter Chiiara. I am a session pianist there. I mean, for the metal band, I'm also not really actually into the songwriting process, but I do have some inputs
In the arrangements.
a little bit. It is a band. Eventually, we perform it as a band.
So basically, the performing side and the songwriting, producing side is kind of intertwining.
Yes.
You perform the songs that you produce with the bands.
Hopefully. I mean, there are some cover bands as well, and they do well. I mean, I have been in like jazz bands or like cover bands, but
You make your own songs.
I do.
Yeah. My last question for this session, this late show with Guinea today, is what are your plans for the future? In which direction do you want to go to? Is it more to teaching, more to performing?
I do hope that I could find a sweet spot that I could do everything. Because I think if you're a musician, it's a shame if you only do one thing and not the other one. Maybe some artists, like really well-known artists like Ariana Grande or bands
Maroon 5,
for example, they could just live off based on songwriting and performing mostly. If you're not that huge, most of the musicians always try to find the balance of the three things. For me, 45 teaching, 30 songwriting, the rest is performing.
So I guess in the near future we can expect more songs coming out on your Spotify and other streaming platforms.
Yes.
Sneaky promotions. I'll link your latest works in the description box below, so if you guys want to check it out, from jazzy to metal. If you guys have any more specific questions regarding being a musician or about Audrey's life, drop it in the comments below. Maybe we can do a part 2. That was a nice chat. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So that's it for today's episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Okay. Okay.
I'm just a player and just a pianist, keyboardist.
You're just a player.